Welcome back to BLOCKTV, and you're watching Cryptonomics. Now, Telegram announced the creation of its own blockchain called the Telegram Open Network almost a year ago, and the sphere has been hanging on to any related news ever since, especially in regard to the Gram token. BLOCKTV has an exclusive update on Gram and the Telegram Open Network, and Asher Westrop Evans is here in studio to break it down for us. So Asher, what is the new revelation here? What did we not know that we now do?
All right, so just to start with, I'll give you a bit of an overview status of where the Telegram Open Network stands at the moment. So right now, we've had in early April an initial ICO. We had the early sort of beta testing going on phase, not open for public release. That's ended in a bit of a shambolic state. It's all a little bit in the air at the moment, and people are unsure what the current timeline is for actually getting this service off the ground and open to those 200 million users of Telegram into the public.
Right.
Okay, but given that, we have our exclusive information that we've received, a document coming from Telegram relating from early April, talking about the potential sort of valuations that could be got from this Gram coin, the Telegram Open Network, that they believe the Gram coin will be worth in the future. Now, it's an interesting document. It details sort of a whole methodology of how the users of Telegram, how the developers of Telegram believe they'll be able to value it. But getting down to brass tacks, they ultimately believe that once the TON Gram is launched, that you will be seeing the price of Gram ranging between $2.90 US to $7.90 US. A very ambitious amount, and particularly given that they estimate that once it's all in place, the total supply of grams in the system will be at 3.12 billion. So certainly they're promising things. They're certainly quite an ambitious scale they're putting out there. Certainly so. Another interesting point to come out in this document, this interesting and detailed document, is the comparisons that they make, where they're seeing Gram in the market, which other coins they're comparing it to, and how they're doing that. Now, it was interesting, some people have noted whether it'll be more like the Facebook style suggested stable coin style. Exactly. No, they don't make those comparisons. The two big markets they compare themselves to, Ethereum and Ripple. Now, so within the document also, they are ambitious, as we said before. They're also pretty confident, I would say, bordering on cocky. Certainly so. So they've been saying that there's a lot of similarities to Ethereum network in particular, and there's a notable line I'll read from here where they said, TON will have many similarities to Ethereum and has the potential to completely replace it one day. That's more ambitious than the price goal, I think. Exactly. So not just looking to be sort of market players, but certainly market disruptors. Now, they do have justification for this this confidence. Their initial funding round, they thought they were going to raise 1.2 billion was their goal. They raised 1.7. So certainly that is a huge amount. Yeah, a massive interest. And of course, the user base of 200 million that they have already in place, ready to establish this market, meaning they don't have to go looking for users. Mass adoption exists. If Telegram makes it a thing, it's going to be a thing. But then there's this whole thing within the crypto sphere in general that user experience is really not up to par. So this isn't exactly related, but then there's Augur, right? The prediction site. They kind of have a great idea here, but their user experience isn't that great. Do you see Telegram kind of succeeding in that sense? I think it can, in the sense that they will build it into the native use of the app itself, into the Telegram messaging service itself, into this larger network, and make it more accessible in that way. I mean, this is a social media company. They understand the user experience. They understand how to make it more engaging for the user, and hopefully the idea being that they'll be able to bring those skill sets into the cryptocurrency world, something that certainly has been lacking. But it's interesting to see whether or not they'll be able to pull it off. As I say, in the moment it's a bit shambolic. People are a little confused as to what exactly is happening here. So it'll be interesting to see if the dev team can truly get it off the ground. And then also we made the connection earlier to Facebook and kind of what they're doing, and it is different, right? Facebook is aiming to create a stable coin. They're concerned for other reasons. Telegram is a more anarchist, decentralized centric crowd, so maybe that makes more sense for them to be in that way. But it does kind of feel like Telegram is in competition with Facebook. I wouldn't know how much Facebook is necessarily in competition with Telegram. Sure, I mean, yeah, Facebook might not even be considering themselves in the same ballpark. Who's to say how that's playing out behind the scenes? But exactly right. I mean, they do. People sort of tend to lump the sort of social media coins all together, and this definitely falls into that category. So it'll be interesting to see who the real competitors are. As I say, this document that we've got exclusive access to really seems to highlight that they're seeing their competitors as already established players in the market, as Ethereum, as Ripple.
And do we know yet when there will be more information out, when this will be launched?
So Telegram has an interesting thing. In order to keep with certain contractual obligations they have in play, they are required by October 31st, 2019 to have an established token up and ready to roll. So that's sort of the end date.
Right.
They need
so
to do
October
that.
31st, we should know.
Exactly. I mean, it was meant to be all released, this in last month during April. That didn't happen. Now there's sort of ongoing behind-the-scenes drama happening in regarding to the ICO in terms of getting things sort of out into the public, getting an access to the public users. If you look on their website, the TON website, they're saying we've closed the ICO for the moment. Refunds are being given where necessary. Don't trust anyone for buying or selling Bitcoin or Ethereum.
That's actually very nice of them.
It is. I mean, I guess they want to give a good public face. The interesting thing, though, however, is the market is still excited, and there is a secondary market. Although you cannot buy TON on any of the major exchanges, there is a secondary market going underway in which people are making big money selling on it effectively behind the scenes to each other, with some users buying at about 35 cents.
Like working on the Gram token.
Yeah, buying 35 cents for 35 cents and selling for $1.30. So 3.5 times their initial investment already. Some people are yielding great returns on this secondary market on the hope that it will eventually reach, I guess, this $2.90 to $7.90 valuation.
So we need to see if that actually comes to
that
fruition,
eventuates,
if they're going to make their funds back, or if this was all hype.
An interesting thing to note as well before we conclude that in how they came to that figure of the $2.90 to $7.90, they talk about this rational expectations hypothesis. I won't go into the details of it, but it's generally a macroeconomic theory that Telegram espouses as the reason why they believe they'll be able to get that amount. However, in that particular segment, they note at the end that despite all their logic, it is only a theory, though.
So at least they're being honest.
Exactly, not a strong underpinning, but yes, perhaps clarity and transparency will win the day.
Transparency will always win the day. I think especially when thinking of the Telegram crowd, and it's a social platform at the end of the day, and if it succeeds, there's great potential for mass adoption and all those words we like to say so much, but that is a goal, and Telegram is definitely underway to do that. If they beat out Facebook for it, that would be great.
Certainly so.
Thank you very, very much, Asher. For all of you guys out there at home who want your crypto updates throughout the day, follow BLOCKTV at BLOCKTV News on Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and Instagram.